Hey there, my name's Josh, or Toxic Juice if you prefer, and this is, if you don't know, the Matcha Cafe. This is a world that I uploaded to VRChat about a year and a half ago, and it also received many updates throughout the year, but at the end of last year I went on a hiatus from VRChat in general to work on personal projects. And during that time, it's been months now, people continuously come to me and say, hey, I really, really love the world. I would love to see more updates. Like, I still go there, but there's no one there because it's not been updated. And, updates to VRChat itself have broken a couple things. And it's just, I want to see more of this. I love it. And I really, really have always appreciated all the praise I've gotten for it. I never expected anyone would even go to the world in the first place. And, I'm super thankful for that, and so I put a lot of thought into it, and I've decided that I want to make content for VRChat again, and to instead of just continuing what I did, because when I made this world, I didn't know what I was doing. This is the first time I did any 3D modeling, the first time I made anything of VRChat, I think, at all. Like, it was my first world. I think at most I got some avatars in and they didn't work quite right and all that, so it was a lot of work, a lot of care I put into this, and I think it should stay in the state it is, because it just shows that this is basically like going back and looking at like people who do art, looking at their first drawings. That's like the equivalent of this. Like, it's the first big thing I did. And I don't really want to build on that because it's rough around the edges. I'd have to do a lot of work. So what I've decided is that I'm completely recreating the cafe. And here you can see the progress of that. You may have been expecting more. You may have been expecting a big old tree at the very least. But I've been working hard to get this up and running, but also not to do too much work, because what I decided to do is that I'm going to be recreating the cafe. I'm going to be getting pretty much everything that I can think of that is from here that should be in the new one. Obviously there's the outside stuff, but there's the cafe itself, and probably we'll be adding the bar again and all that. Oof, camera's being weird. But this time around, instead of just toiling away and making the world without anyone knowing about it, I've decided to just do a little bit, get somewhat of a feel for what the world's going to be, and I want everyone to be able to follow the development process of the world. So that's what I'm doing here. What you can see so far with the world is I've got the terrain, which it's quite a bit different than before. I'm going for a different style now, which I don't know if I like more than. Maybe I like it about the same, but it was new and I wanted to try something new. I want to still be learning. I want to still be trying new things. So I'm trying this new style, giving a little bit more definition to it. All the assets, all the textures and the models and the shaders, I've written everything. And yeah, so obviously it's just a terrain. We've got some props here. We've got these crates and this lumber, and this flagstone that is ready to be placed and all that. And obviously this stuff is not going to be here forever. The reason I added these things is because if you go into the world in VRChat, which you may be in the world already right now, because I'm going to have this video on the wall, you can participate in building the cafe. It's minor. You can bring the crates and the lumber to their places, and there's a little sapling that will hopefully one day grow into our big old tree that'll be the cafe. And you can take this watering can over there and water it. And you do kind of get a reward for doing that stuff. It's little more than a thanks, so don't expect too much. But yeah, this is the world as it is currently. This is what I'm calling Update 0. And I'm gonna be working on the world over time, and with major updates, I'm gonna be sharing it with everyone. I'm also, taking suggestions from people as I did with the original cafe. So definitely join the Discord if you have something to suggest. But yeah, other than that, alongside this, I'm opening my Patreon again. It was open years ago, and I have a video on that, so I'm not going to go too much into it. But I want to make it super clear that what I'm doing with the Patreon is I'm not asking everyone for money, and you can only be in the world if you give me money. That's not what I'm doing at all. I had people who, with the last world, with the original cafe, I did have people wanting to chip in and give a few bucks, send them my way. But more importantly, there are people who are like, I don't really want to use Discord. I'm already in VRChat, and that's where I hang out with all my friends. I don't really want to have to be in the Discord to see when the world updates. And so you can follow the Patreon. You don't have to give any money. And I will make the latest update, so that the newest update that I make to the world, always available to everyone. There's no money involved. But if you follow the Patreon, you can get notifications on the new updates, and I'll make videos like this, and I'll go into the process of what I did to make it work and all that along the way, which I should remember. I'm going to make a post on there as well about some of the test worlds I used, and I'm going to let people explore those. They're not very exciting, but I've always really liked that about like video games with like debug rooms and stuff like that, where you can see the kind of tests they went through. It's that sort of thing. For example, there's a world where I tried to make this lumber able to be picked up from both ends, so two people could, lift it up together and have to work together to bring it to the location. And it almost worked, except for the second person in the world will make the physics go wonky, and then it'll start flying around all over the place on its own, which is hilarious, but obviously not what I wanted for the world. So I'll be releasing that sort of thing, on the Patreon as well. But yeah, that's what that's for. It's the Patreon is being used as both a service that you can chip in if you want to, but mostly as a way to update yourself on the world. And yeah, like I said, I want this to be a thing where everyone's working together to build the world, because really the thing that made the cafe special, if I go back into it, you can look at this wall here, and there's just so many pictures, so many memories that people helped make the cafe what it was. Like I'm still gonna work on the cafe, whether or not people are like giving suggestions and stuff. And I did the same here, but along the way, everyone made like a bunch of memories of the place, and that's what I loved. So I wanted to expand it further by having it so people can be a part of the process of making the cafe in the first place. So yeah, that's about it. That kind of sums up the first, not even really an update. I'm calling it update 0 because that's not really an update. It's like the release, but it's not like a full release because it's not done, that sort of thing. But yeah, here's the world. Here's a day-night cycle included with the world. Wow, that's really fast. It's out now. Go check it out. If you haven't seen the original cafe, go check that out. Just either in VRChat, you can look up Matcha Cafe. This one is labeled as the new Matcha Cafe. I'm pulling a Nintendo new 3DS kind of thing here. And yeah, tell me what you think. Join the Discord and all that, and you know what to do. Thank you for checking this out, and I'll see you in the next update.